once again, people. So if you were paying attention the last time, you will have known that we have finished up Gregory A. McMahon's levels, which means that we're going through a little bit of a transition. We have kind of finished all the levels that had any, real detailing to them, I guess you could say. Anything that's like heavily documented about them. So now it's just mostly checking out levels that are just kind of levels, and well, that's kind of what it comes down to. Yeah, this is kind of one of the biggest flaws about basically the levels that you find on these CDs versus something that you find on the internet. See, when you do like a level that was made by some user or something like that, usually it comes with a description that usually describes what it is. Usually that means also the author therefore is there and you know who did it. And it just gives a bit more detail. Usually they'll add readmes that say what something about it, and it just makes it more interesting, honestly. It's one thing that's really nice about the whole Doom thing is because we're playing all these levels made by users instead of by commercial people, and so we end up getting a lot more detailing. Because when doing it here, like Q2, we didn't have any details really at all. It was like there was no documentation for any of the levels. We played 101 levels with no detailing whatsoever. We get to Dark Hour, it was a bit better. It told us who did it, even though the people were pretty relevant, and the people who did anything were just pretty much like, they'd say like one sentence and be done with it. I don't know, I just would prefer a bit more wording, I guess, to it. Something explain like the mindset behind the level or something weird like that. Basically what Gregory McMartin did, which is what he did for basically episode 3 and his deathmatch level. So pretty much everything he contributed to, Gregory McMartin did a lot of detail into, and I really like that. I feel he did it right, and I wish more developers did it like how he did it, because I feel it would archive things a lot better, to know who did it, how they did it, what was going through their head at the time. He did a really good job of archive everything, even the YouTube stuff. The fact that he added like extra stuff to those descriptions is just a nice little fan service. Even though like the levels are totally obscure and like very few people have heard about them, he's still willing to put out a bunch of info about it, and that's the nice thing is that, for those that are actually interested in the levels, he gives them a bunch of info about them. We're not left in the dark about what he did. And I like that. And that's the big difference between that and kind of the rest of Aftershock, because the rest of Aftershock, ignoring the standalone levels, because really the standalone levels, what they are basically a bunch of levels ripped off the internet, and then replaced with Aftershock textures. For whatever reason. I guess because they wanted to say more Aftershock levels, even though they're really not. But we'll check them out anyway because they're part of this whole pack. They're on the CD, so gotta check them out. But at the end of the day, the actual physical campaign game and all that is lacking in much detailing outside of Gregory McMartin. Like, I don't know who did episode 2. We know Jim Goel did episode, the E1M1 and the first deathmatch level, but it's not because of anything on Aftershock. No, it's actually because I've dug online and found, like, that he basically released the level elsewhere and said little bits here and there. So yeah, it's mostly through retconning it from other sources that we found out that it basically was made by him. He didn't really give us any favors on the Aftershock CD. And that's kind of why I wish more people did, like Gregory McMahon. It would make our jobs so much easier because we can really only base it off what we see. And what we see is very, very little normally. Anyway, it's pretty nice though that we did get to see all those levels, that we got to see a lot of nice refined little levels. Many of them weren't my cup of tea, as I kind of said. I ranted about a lot of them, had my own little gripes, but at the end of the day, they were very, very refined. You can't say they weren't. They weren't my style at all, and I definitely prefer they have gone a different direction, but they also had a nice professionalism to them, especially because he added the detailing to it, because he tried making it matter. That's a really important part, people, is that he made it matter, that it felt like it had some purpose. Its purpose was really just to be another pack for Quake, but he made it feel like it had more of a reason. Each one had its own uniqueness or flair or something going on, and that just makes it stand out. That just makes it awesome. Anyway, today we're checking out DMAS07, Gavin's Courtyard, which has none of that. Instead, it's a random level made by someone I don't know. Who knows? And, well, it's a level. That's really all I got. That's all the info. Yeah, we're kind of going back to the days of Q2, or kind of like episode 2, or later episode 1. But I guess the big difference between episode 1 and episode 2 is at least there was playability to those because they're single-player levels. Now that we're getting to deathmatch levels and we're just wandering around looking at geometry, I kind of feel bored when I have absolutely no idea who did anything or why they did it. It's kind of like trying to appreciate a piece of art without knowing the backstory behind the art. It just kind of gets boring. And yeah, that's, I think, a big difference between the Gregory and McMartin stuff, which I felt was pretty fine. He even added little bits of enemies to keep me entertained. Yeah, it definitely was the highlight to the side. But now we're getting to the side whereby it's a bunch of levels that really I kind of don't care about, but we have to check out anyway because they're on the pack, and it would be 100% completion of all this stuff if I didn't. So yeah, for curiosity's sake, for the sake of showing off everything, Gavin's Courtyard. Let's load the thing up and see what we have to deal with. Probably nothing really amazing at all, but yeah, if I sound cynical, don't mind me. Gavin's Courtyard. Now the question is, did Gavin make this? Because I have no idea who Gavin is. A readme could have told me! Okay, first criticism. This area is freaking large. And there's barely anything here. Like we have a double-barreled shotgun, some shells. But outside of that, it's pretty barren. Oh, if you haven't already noticed, I've switched back to deathmatch mode because there are no enemies on any of these maps outside of Gregory and McMartin's. And there's a giant floating torch right in front of my face. Well, what do you know about that? Okay, this is just random. Hooray for totally misplaced torches. But yeah, we're in deathmatch mode now. It really is kind of minimal, but it is important to note because now things respawn. And yeah, it's basically just because, well, no reason to stay in single player. So yeah, let's wander around aimlessly, check things out, and appreciate. One nice thing is that we do get one thing here, one construction, if you will, in this entire place that keeps us interested. Because we do still have an exit from the level. And actually, it pretty much denotes what it is. It is an End Pedistal. The interesting thing to note about this is the only End Pedistal in all of Aftershock. Yeah, basically it's just a square that you stand on and you basically teleport elsewhere. It's a very, very simplistic concept like a lot of Aftershocks. I mean, basically the end tunnel is just a dark tunnel. But it's showing creativity, it's showing different little things. So, yeah, this is one of the only level exits outside of like the end tunnel that we generally see. Well, not generally see, this is the only time we see it. But yeah, usually it's either the pit or the end tunnel, so it's nice to see something a little bit different going on here. And of course we also have the teleporters, but they were never officially named, so I never officially called anything or considered it a real thing. Yeah, see, this is why you have to have a nice pretty blinky thing telling me what it is. Yeah. This is what gives relevance. Yep. A totally pointlessly named thing. You know, it's horribly named. I mean, it's not even spelled right. That's not even how you spell pedestal. Pedestal. Oh. Yeah, I for some reason I really don't get the feeling that's how you spell pedestal. Maybe it is. I don't think so, though. You know what? Now I'm getting bugged by that. I'm getting bugged by the fact that they're spelling pedestal. So wait, I need to see if they spell pedestal correctly. I thought so. Yep, it's P-E-D-E-S-T-A-L. I thought it was spelled incorrectly, but I had to prove it. So yeah, pedestal. Totally spelled incorrectly and messing everybody up because it's such a thing that sounds like it should be correct, but it's not at all. And it's going to drive me crazy because I see that it's like, yeah. But that's the end pedestal. As you see, really all it is like... It's like 3 different textures of one. It's like... It mostly has this brown texture here, but then you have like the purple in the middle here. And like the greenish in the middle. So yeah, it's a rather weird concoction, but it works. It works. That's all that matters. Anyway, as I was trying to say earlier, this area is totally pointless as it's just a giant freaking area with absolutely nothing. And I mean zilch entirely. Alright, here's a bunch of armor. Hooray for resources. All clustered together, you know, because we couldn't space them out over there. We have to put them over here. You see there's some holes and whatnot that you can see from above. They can watch me from up here, people. They're watching me in every action I do. Anyway, this really is kind of a dead end, but you can't collect the nail gun and shoot at people on the opposite side of the wall. You know, for those idiots who come over here, because why in God's name did you come over here in the first place? Like, really? Anyway, that really is all that's over here. You come in this tiny little confined area where you're going to basically be killed by anyone with explosives to collect a nail gun. Congratulations, you are an idiot! You have failed the test tremendously. Because up here are all the explosives! The grenade launcher and the rocket launcher. Like, why exactly do they even have a grenade launcher? Like, most people are going to just use a rocket launcher. But, oh well. And pretty much everyone can die in here now. It's like, pretty much, you know, you collect that, you kill them from here at the end. Yeah, I have a nail gun! You have a rocket launcher! I wonder who's gonna win that fight. Yeah, gee, I wonder. And here we have a giant pointless room with a super nail gun, because the regular nail gun wasn't... Yeah, not only do we get the rocket launcher and the grenade launcher in this one little area, but we also get the super nail gun, because what's the point of being powerful if you're not overpowered? Yeah, it's like, really, the rest of this map is like totally useless. You know, sure you have some armor, but that's really about it. Other than that, you're pretty much overpowered by coming to this one room and using all the guns here. Also, is it just me or is there no health packs at all in the level? Like at all. Maybe it's just me. But I don't see anything. So I'm going to blame the level. Oh look, hidden teleporter. Yep, if you know about the hidden teleporter or you happen to hear the sound of a teleporter, you might go into that corner. Yeah, you have to kind of base on audio cues. So you see you pick up a ring of shadows when you go in there. Basically what happens is you can hear it when you get pretty close to it. And that tells you there's actually a teleporter there. Well, above you. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. You hear it better when you're on the lower floor than when you're on the upper. When you're on the upper, no, you can hear it up here. So up here you can tell, oh, there must be something in this corner. I see. There was something in this corner. And now I'm in it. As you see, this is where you can shoot people from below. You know, all the idiots who went to get the nail gun. Because, really, what we gotta secure the most from every direct position is the nail gun. Yep. When are you going to be at your most dangerous? When you have the nail gun. Oh look, a pentagram. So that way we can take out people who have the nail gun better. Yeah, totally. Thank goodness we went through the area of the rocket launcher to get it. And it's ridiculously giant, pointless area. Wow. Look at the size of this. Like, there's no use for all this space. above or below. It's like they decided, let's make the nail gun area, but then let's not fill it with anything else. Yeah. But if you haven't already noticed, this area is pretty pointless. It's just, it's a courtyard that really has everything on the second floor. Like, really all you need to do is just go up to the second floor to dominate the map from said second floor, while everyone else is pretty much scattering around trying to go, oh my god, right for the sky! Because you can snipe everyone from up there. You control this area. Yeah, it just feels like you could get ridiculously overpowered very easily in this map. Maybe it's just me, but I swear it's way too easy to get overpowered. Anyway, you come back in here, hop over here. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, look how short the map is. The map is very, very small too. It's not really like good for it. More than a tourney. At least in my opinion. And here is the End Pedistal. Now let's shine glory. Look at that blinky light. Okay, you jump up on it. You see, it's like a little stepping stone. Otherwise, it's too high to get on. So you can only get to it on the side that has a little raised thing, which is where the purple is. So yeah, the purple denotes the side you're supposed to get up on. Then you can get up on here, and then this is where you teleport. You like hug the outer rim. You're not going to teleport. It's only the area in the middle, which I just walked into. But yeah, you get the idea. And this takes you to the next level, which we'll check out next time. So yeah, relatively pointless mission with really little to do. Mostly all crammed in one area. At the end of the day, really the only thing of interest here is the End Pedistal. That's really kind of weird because it's just kind of like sitting there. Yeah. Honestly, what's it with the level exits and deathmatch levels? Like, do we really need that? Like, do people actually decide, let's actually go to the level exit to get to the next level in the middle of a deathmatch level? Why wouldn't, like, the admin just, like, change the level via the server or something? It just feels rather, like, a rather weird way to have it, whereby you can exit from one level to the next. You don't really see this past Quake, honestly. Like, every game past Quake, you usually don't exit a level to get to the next level in Deathmatch. I can't think of, like, any level that, any game that does that. And it's a rather weird mechanism to have here. But I guess it's kind of like a remainder from the earlier days of, like, Doom or whatnot, whereby single-player and multiplayer levels were the same, so they all had level exits probably. But yeah, this was kind of like a weird little hybridish thing that existed. Makes it a bit better when we want to kind of get to the next level without having to actually type in the console or anything. But it is a bit funky when you think, well, now we're playing Deathmatch and we have to set no exit 1 or whatever in order to make sure that nobody actually accidentally falls into the teleporter or the End Pedistal sitting in the middle of this map and dies. Yeah, it's just a little awkward thing for, like, Deathmatches. But anyway, it's just a little small little thing to note about how it's a weird oddity. And the fact of the matter that we have this one deathmatch level having a weird exclusive exit. But yeah, here we are with an exit that you don't see anywhere else. So hopefully you liked it and appreciated the End Pedistal. Because really that's the only point of Gavin's Courtyard. Other than that, it's a really, really pointless level. I feel it's kind of just a very empty and expansive level with everything important all clustered together to the point that you can get ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, it's almost like King of the Hill, but with no balance whatsoever. There's really only one way to really access it, so it kind of has very limited balance. So yeah, this is all a problem, but, well, this is what we signed up for. Levels to check out and just say, well, this is another level. Here you are. We passed the days of Gregory and McMartin, and now we're on to some really random, obscure deathmatch levels thrown in at the end. Anyway, thank you very much all for watching. It has been an adventure, and I shall see you all next time.